See, right, let's go to your calls. Ian is in Harlow. We're talking about this so-called Amazon tax. I think it's actually quite unfair to call it an Amazon tax because I do like to be fair to these big companies. But it's all these sort of internet giants that have sprung up over the last 10 or 15 years. Ian, do you think that would be a good idea?
Well, to a degree. I think you've got a point on something. But my opinion is that all these huge corporations have really... basically, what's happening, they're zapping the high street altogether. Can I just tell you that 44 years ago, my dad told me that there would be no high street in the future.
Wow.
He's a software analytical... Sorry, hang on, I've got to get this right. An analytical software consultant that used to work on for NATO and the European fighter jets and stuff like that. And he told me that 44 years ago, there would be no high street in the future. The internet's going to take over. And I think that...
Well, the internet wasn't even invented 44 years ago.
Sorry?
Was it? The internet wasn't invented 44 years ago.
No, that's right. This is how far forward my daddy's in thinking.
Oh, okay.
It's quite incredible, actually. He's like K9, that old robot on the film.
We all need a K9.
They weren't novels that he read. It was all factual stuff. Quite amazing, really. But the thing is, where you're saying reviving the high street, I think more to the point is that where a lot of these businesses are going out of business because of the big boys, they're not paying enough into the coffers to fix our infrastructure and to expand our infrastructure, are they? That's the point. And so I think that too much money is going out the back door, out of the country. Then it's no surprise to me that the government's broke.
So do you think that the high street is effectively beyond the point of no return now?
Well, I'm just telling you what my father told me 44 years ago. This is... The thing is, I think even in America, they've got an Amazon shop, but what you do is you don't actually have any staff. They just go in there, tap the app at the counter, go in, pick everything up and walk out with it.
What's the fun in that?
I've got no idea, but it's going to save the shops a fortune, isn't it?
I mean,
no staff layout,
shopping,
no labour costs.
Shopping ought to be, whether you're doing it online or in a shop, it ought to be
You're a different generation, Ian.
Well, maybe I am, but it ought to be... I mean, I don't actually particularly enjoy shopping, and I do a lot of internet shopping. But if I go into a shop, I actually want to get service, and if I don't get service, I'm very unlikely to go back to that shop. And there are far too many of these big stores now, mentioning no names, W.H. Smith, but I do not want to use one of these self-service checkout things because they invariably do not work, they take too much time, and I miss my train, so therefore I go and buy something somewhere else.
Well, it won't be like that in the future, will it?
I don't know.
No, because you'll just tap on your screen and it'll be delivered by the Google driverless car.
Oh, no, you see, I can't be coping with driverless cars.
The thing is, what it is, he was telling me about artificial intelligence and self-learning, and it was way above my head. But this country, the whole world is in for huge swathes of unemployment in the future. So something's got to be done, because you've got to make sure that people at the bottom or in the middle have got money, or they won't be buying the products that are being produced.
See, your father wasn't the only one with foresight. Incorrigible Down says, my nan said 100 years ago that there'd be a moron in the White House one day. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of flack for that one, aren't I? But it's Friday. It's my last day before my holiday, so bring it on.